What do you recommend to entrepreneurs? Don't be entrepreneur. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you will never do that. It's like the perfection is the opposite of done, I think they say.
How do you keep up to make sure that you're staying at least in the right lane? Because there's so much technology coming out. I think that's different than, let's say, 10 years ago. But 10 years it was more a niche, obscure industry, where now it's so widespread, right?
So the only way to keep up with that is like fuck experts. I mean,
what does that mean in your
because
brain?
I've seen a lot of people like talking about shit, talking about startups, talking about technology, and I'm just building. I wake up every day at 5 a.m. and try to build something and just do it. I code it.
Yeah.
Then I just keep attached, and then I need things, and then things change, and so I have to read documentation, and I speak a lot with ChatGPT. It's my best friend right now, but
oh, you'll love Liam then.
Yeah, and you have to be stupid. I mean, usually like smart people. Every time, like in my life, every time that there was a problem and they ask smart people always like answer, no, that cannot be done. It's impossible. It's going to be too expensive, whatever. And I was the only stupid guy that said, no, I can do that. So that attitude, that being hanger, that's really hard. I want to do it. Let me do it. Sometimes it's like football. There's this guy like, I don't want the pressure. The other way, I want the ball. I'm going to like go through all of these people with my whatever. So having that attitude, it helps a lot. And not overthinking too much, just like doing. And then I keep up because I wake up at 5 a.m. every day and I build things. I don't read about things.
So you build, you deploy, you fail fast.
Exactly. I fail a lot, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the...
So by failing, you learn, right?
Exactly. And I've seen like a lot of tech guys like going to management, So, and of course they have a lot of experience, but at some point their experience is managing people, but not with technology. And that's a different skill. And by the way, it's really needed. We need a lot of people with that skill. It's not that it's bad. But then, of course, like they have their job and then they need to keep up with technology, and then it gets hard.
Yeah, it's the old move fast, break things.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we're moving on here to the advice for founders section. I think that's a really great one already, which I would actually entitle kind of "Be Stupid."
Yeah.
Maybe that was guy in the room.
Yeah, don't have a feeling. If you think too much, like there's so many things that can go wrong that you will never do anything. Just do it, break it, and then see what happens.
Yeah, it's better to fail 100 times than not to fail at all, right?
But But when I like you ask me like, what do you recommend to entrepreneurs? Don't be entrepreneur. Usually, I do a lot of talks for entrepreneurs, like universities, kind of things. And always when like I ask like, who wants to be entrepreneur? And like all of the room, all of them, like, I want to, me. Yes, amazing. Who wants to get broke? Who wants to get divorced? Who wants to lose their friends? Of course, health. You don't need that. That's something nobody needs, Free time. Wow. And that's it. And honestly, most of the people, they just go low down and whoa. And then you see a couple of people in the back, always in the back, like so excited about, I want that life. And it's not for everybody. You need to be stupid. Yeah, right. You need to be quite stupid because like you're choosing the hardest path ever. And if you think about too much, probably you would not do it. Nobody would do it. So
I remember talking to Ross McKenzie, who was one of our guests. He used to do billions of dollars worth of sales for IBM. And his kind of vibe around entrepreneurs is that you have entrepreneurs and you have enthusiastic amateurs, and you're one or the other. And I feel like you can still be what a lot of people will consider an entrepreneur as one of these enthusiastic amateurs. But it's kind of choosing that lane, isn't it? There's the entrepreneur, as you say, that just does the meetings and raises funds. And then you've got the entrepreneur like yourself that moves fast and breaks things and does it themselves. And I think I don't agree with him very much, but I thought this was interesting, is Elon Musk was recently talking about the fact that we need more engineers as CEOs, more people that can actually do things. Is that something you'd agree with?
For me, the difference is between, I see that a lot with entrepreneurs. I don't think of myself as an entrepreneur because I have an idea in my mind. I want to see that idea working. So I don't care. I just like have something with like context protocol. I thought about this, like the semantic web. We can bring that on Web3. And I want to see that working. And then I see a lot of entrepreneurs that they're looking for the idea. because their idea of being entrepreneur is to build something big, to get rich, whatever. And then, yes, they get excited about raising money, and they celebrate raising money. Raising money is a big responsibility. You should never celebrate that because you owe that money to someone. And they get lost on this idea of, beautiful idea that you're free, you do whatever you want, you're an entrepreneur, and you want to be an entrepreneur. I think like most of the, OGs or whatever you want to call them, they don't think of themselves as entrepreneurs. They just do things. And it's not that I'm looking for the next big thing to do. I just see a problem and I need to solve that problem. And I'm not looking for the problem. I just, that I could do better. And then I get obsessed with that. So I think that there's like these two paths. And I like this idea of amateur somehow, because I've seen that a lot. Like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna join a university to do a course on entrepreneurship. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think it's being humble, isn't it? It's the aspect of knowing that there's lots that you don't know yet, and you can always learn.
But then that's once again like what you're doing something. You fail so many times that it's impossible not being humble, because you fail.
Well,
because you're stupid. You just try things, and then of course you fail, and you try again, and you fail again, and then you speak with a lot of people, and because you want that to succeed, you speak with smarter people than you. You never speak to people that says, no, you're right. You don't like that kind of people. I don't like them. I like people saying, you're wrong because that's not going to work because of this. Oh, shit, that's a good idea. So, and then, because you're speaking all the time with people that they know better than you. And whenever you hire, I always hire people to tell me what to do, not the other way around. If I hire someone in marketing, I want him or her to be way better than me. And so, and then, of course, you work with this kind of people that makes you feel humble all of the time because there's so many things you don't know. I used to say that knowledge is like a balloon, that there's like the things you know inside of the balloon, it's the air. And then the things you don't know are outside. And basically, you just know the things you don't know, but you don't know the things you don't know. And the more you get more knowledge inside, the surface, the area of the balloon grows. And the things that you get to know that you don't know, they keep on growing exponentially. So every time that you just like get some air of knowledge, the kind of, it's like, yes, now I know this. Now I know that I know do this. And it gets great.
Exactly.
So then once again, like Thomas, you have to be stupid and don't overthink too much. You're never going to be smart enough. You're never going to get there. So you just keep on pushing and trying. Otherwise, like, if you wait for everything to be perfect, you will never do that. It's like the perfection is the opposite of done, I think they say. So
yeah, that's
so,
that. Yeah.
No, I wanted to jump on. So, in terms of another tip here, you talk about failing a lot. How do you deal with failure?
Because, like, I don't know. It's part of my life. I don't think failure is a bad thing. Some would say, like, I never fail. I just found 1,000 ways of not doing it right.
No, but in terms of if you were talking to someone that's just starting out and you need to say that you're going to fail lots, what would be the advice of how to deal with that failure, knowing that it's going to come a lot?
So my advice would be being able to identify failure on different topics. It's not the same failing that I tried something, it didn't work, or I tried something and I lost $200,000, or I tried something, it didn't work, lost $200,000, and I now own that money to a bank.
Yeah.
So being able to identify this kind of failure, being able to identify the risk on everything you do, and manage that risk in a way that it's like calculated risk. I mean, I'm going to fail big, but then I can, raise up again because I'm okay. I never lost my, health or never lost my, wealth. So it's not that basically that's the end of it. So being able to identify those risks, like at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur is like about cash management. You need like cash flow, being able to understand like where you are, what do you want to be. And then with that, make a lot of mistakes. And of course, you're going to lose a lot of money at the beginning because you're going to make a lot of bad decisions. You're going to hire the wrong people. You're going to, but then you learn.